Tonight, let us drift into forgotten stories of divine women. Across temples of stone and deserts of gold, across forests where the air was thick with incense, there lived sacred figures who once carried the mysteries of the soul. Their names have faded, whispered only in fragments of myth, yet their light still glows in the quiet spaces of history. As you close your eyes and breathe deeply, these stories will move like soft rivers through your heart. They are not tales of power or conquest, but of healing, tenderness, and the eternal bond between human and divine. Each chapter is a candle, flickering gently to soothe your soul while you rest. If this journey brings you peace tonight, you may wish to subscribe so you can return whenever sleep feels far away. And if your heart feels called, share in the comments where you're listening from. Together, we weave a quiet circle of light across the world. The night is quiet. The stars above are silver, soft, and still. A faint breeze moves through the ancient stones of a temple that no longer stands in the waking world, but rises now within the dream of memory. The air is warm, touched by the faintest glow. You find yourself drifting into that temple. Its walls are tall, its roof open to the sky. In the very heart of this sacred place, a flame burns, gentle, golden, eternal. This is not an ordinary fire. It does not roar or rage. It flickers like a heartbeat, alive with calm. For countless ages, women of devotion tended this light. They were the keepers of the divine flame, carrying the spirit of the goddess in every breath. They moved quietly, their footsteps soft upon smooth stone floors. White garments brushed against the earth as they passed. Their hands held oil, incense, and water, feeding the fire with simple gifts. They asked for nothing in return. Their task was not for glory, but for balance, to keep the flame alive so that life itself would never lose its warmth. The flame was more than fire. It was the soul of a people. It was memory, prayer, and promise. The flickering light was seen as the presence of the goddess herself, gentle, yet eternal. To tend the flame was to tend the heartbeat of creation. Imagine the hush of the temple at night, only the sound of the fire's soft crackle, only the distant echo of wind moving beyond the walls. The women kept their vigil with stillness. They whispered prayers in tones so low they felt like breath itself. Some believe this flame came from the very beginning of time, that when the stars were first placed in the heavens, one spark was brought down and set upon the earth to burn forever. Others said it was a gift of the goddess, a reminder that divine presence never truly fades, but glows in every age. And so the priestesses tended it, day after day,
night after night.
Through storms, through drought, through silence. They kept the flame alive. Picture a young girl chosen to serve. She enters the temple for the first time. The flame lights her face, her eyes wide with wonder. She feels its warmth not only upon her skin, but deep within her spirit. Her elders teach her how to bow before the flame, how to breathe slowly so that the smoke rises like a prayer, how to carry herself with gentleness, as though she too were part of the fire. The flame teaches her patience. The flame teaches her care. Each flicker is a reminder that life itself is delicate, yet strong, that it must be tended with kindness, or it may grow dim. In time, the girl grows into a woman, her hair touched by years, her hands steady with devotion. She has spent her life beside the flame. She has seen the seasons pass, yet the fire has never gone out. Through her eyes, you see the deep bond between human and divine. Many who came to the temple found comfort here. Travelers and kings, mothers and children. They would kneel before the flame, close their eyes, and feel its warmth flow into them. It reminded them that no matter how cold the world became, there was always a spark of light waiting to welcome them home. The flame healed sorrow. It did not speak, yet it gave peace. Those who carried heavy burdens felt them soften in its glow. Those who carried questions found their hearts quieted, not with answers, but with calm. The women tending the flame saw this often. They did not need to guide or preach. Their service was silent but powerful. Simply by keeping the flame alive, they gave hope to all who entered. Legends spread across the land. Some said the flame could never die because it was guarded by the goddess herself. Others believed that as long as it burned, the people would be safe, crops would grow, and storms would pass gently over their homes. The priestesses listened to such stories, but they asked for no reward. Their devotion was enough. At dawn, when the first rays of sunlight touched the temple stones, the women would bow to the east. The flame seemed to shimmer brighter in the golden light. At dusk, When the stars returned, they would place fresh oil into the vessel, watching the fire glow against the dark. In every hour, in every season, their watch remained steady. Imagine now the hush of midnight. The world outside is silent. The temple is still. Only one figure stands by the flame, her eyes reflecting its glow. She does not move quickly. Her breathing is slow. The fire sways gently, and it feels as though the goddess herself is breathing with her. For centuries, the flame continued. Long after names and kings had changed, long after walls crumbled and rose again, the light endured. But in time, as all things shift, the memory of the priestesses faded. The world grew louder. Other fires rose and fell. The eternal flame grew dim, not by accident, but by forgetfulness. And yet, even when the flame was gone from the temple stones, it was not truly lost, for the flame lived on in every heart that remembered. The women who once tended it passed their devotion to daughters, and their daughters carried it onward in whispers, in rituals, in small flames lit upon quiet altars. The forgotten flame of the goddess never truly vanished. It became the hidden light inside every soul. It became the candle burning in times of sorrow. It became the small flame we still light today when we seek peace, when we remember love, when we call for comfort. As you rest now, imagine that flame before you, soft, golden, alive. It flickers gently, as though it knows you're breathing. It gives warmth without demand. It lights the darkness without struggle. You do not need to tend it. The flame simply is, eternal, patient, kind. It asks for nothing, yet offers everything. Let it glow in your memory. Let it rest within your chest, like a heartbeat of light. Even as your body sinks deeper into rest, the flame remains steady and calm. The priestesses step back into silence. Their white garments fade into the shadows of the temple. But the flame remains. It will always remain. Now as the night deepens, you may let go. The stars move slowly across the sky. The air is still. The world is safe. The flame of the goddess glows quietly inside you. Let yourself drift with it. Let yourself rest in its warmth. And when dreams arrive, they will carry that same light, steady and eternal. Now sleep, as the forgotten flame continues to shine. The night deepens. The air is soft, touched with silver. Above, the moon hangs like a quiet lantern, steady and kind. Its glow spills across the earth, turning rivers into threads of light, turning stones into pale mirrors. You drift beneath that glow. Each breath feels slower now, as though the body is learning the rhythm of the moon itself. The silence is gentle, not empty, but full of the soft presence of those who have watched the night for countless ages. They are the mothers of the moonlight, goddesses, guardians, dream-bearers. Their stories move like silver tides across time. They are remembered in whispers, in lullabies, in the hush of waves, and in the calm of starlit skies. Long ago, when the earth was still young, people looked upward with wonder. They saw the moon shift its shape each night, a slender crescent, like a boat drifting across darkness, a round fullness, like a pearl resting on velvet, a slow disappearance, leaving the sky in mystery. They understood the moon as a guide, a motherly hand shaping the tides of ocean and soil. The moon touched the waters, and the waters answered. The moon touched the seeds, and the crops grew with her blessing. And so, people gave her many names and called her goddess. In the lands of Greece, she was Selene, the radiant one. Her chariot of silver horses pulled her across the sky. Night after night, she poured her light down like gentle milk, nourishing the world in silence. Her sister Artemis, too, carried the moon's grace, guarding forests and the wild with a bow of silver light. Far across deserts in Egypt, she was linked with Isis, the Great Mother. Her crown bore the crescent moon, horns encircling a glowing orb. Through her, the rhythms of sky and water were kept in harmony. She watched over the Nile, guiding its rise and fall with her hidden hands. In the quiet villages of China, she was Chang'e, the Lady of the Moon. Her story spoke of loss and longing, yet also of immortality. From her palace in the heavens, she gazed upon the earth with gentle sorrow, blessing lovers, dreamers, and poets who whispered their prayers upward. And in many places still, the moon was known as Grandmother, a soft elder, steady and patient, carrying wisdom in her glow. Her face was always there, watching, forgiving, guiding the cycles of life. The mothers of the moonlight were more than figures of myth. They were rhythm itself, They taught that time is not a line, but a circle, that just as the moon fades and returns, so do our days of strength and our nights of rest. Nothing is ever truly lost, only hidden, waiting to return in its season. To lie beneath the moon was to feel that rhythm. Farmers planted by her phases, trusting her glow to guide their fields. Mothers watched the cycles, knowing that their own bodies carried the same rhythm as the sky. Dreamers fell asleep to her silver gaze, and in dreams they felt her presence. The moon became a mirror of the soul, sometimes bright, sometimes hidden, sometimes full of light, sometimes drifting into shadow, but always returning, always moving in quiet circles like breath. Imagine now a temple by the sea. Its columns rise like pale bones, its stones washed with moonlight. The waves crash softly against the shore, their rhythm steady, guided by the pull of the goddess above. Priestesses walk barefoot across the sand, their white garments flowing like water. They lift their arms toward the moon, their voices low, chanting to the mother of the tides. Their chant is slow, almost like a lullaby. Each note rises, then falls like the waves. The sound carries over the sea, carried by salt winds and silver light. Fishermen on their boats hear the sound and feel safe. Children sleeping near the shore stir and smile, dreaming of gentle waters. The mothers of the moonlight do not command with thunder. They do not strike a roar. Their guidance is quiet. They teach patience. They teach that all things move in cycles. Darkness followed by light, silence followed by song, sorrow followed by joy. There is a story told in whispers of an ancient traveler. He was weary, lost, carrying sorrow like a heavy cloak. One night, he collapsed by the side of a river. Above him, the moon rose full and bright. Its light touched his face, soft and steady. He dreamed that a woman robed in silver bent down and kissed his forehead. When he awoke, his heart was lighter. The river glowed with moonlight, guiding his path. He followed it until morning and found his way home. He told his children, and they told theirs. The moon is a mother. She will not speak, but she will guide you. She will not carry you, but she will show you the way. The moon is also a keeper of dreams. In many lands, it was believed that the moonlight carried visions, slipping into the minds of those asleep. Some nights brought gentle dreams of love. Others brought lessons, warnings, or soft glimpses of the future. The mothers of the moonlight were said to walk through those dreams, shaping them with care. Imagine lying beneath a window. The moonlight spills onto your bed, pale and cool. Your eyes close, and soon you drift into a dream. In that dream, a woman with long hair woven from silver threads takes your hand. She does not speak, yet you feel her comfort. She leads you into a garden where flowers bloom only at night. Their petals open beneath the moon, shining like glass. This is the gift of the mothers of the moonlight. A dream of peace, given freely, without demand. The mothers also remind us of rest. When the sun fades, the body slows. The night is not a time of weakness, but of healing. The moon mothers whisper that rest is sacred, that to sleep is to return to the rhythm of the world. Even the oceans obey her call, swelling and retreating in endless breath. In every age, across every land, the moon has watched us sleep. She has seen children held in their mother's arms, rocking under her glow. She has seen shepherds resting by their flocks, comforted by her silver gaze. She has seen sailors lost at sea, finding direction in her path. Her watch has never ended. Now, as you rest, imagine her above you, a mother of light, steady and patient. Her glow touches your face, soft as silk. Her rhythm slows your breath, calms your thoughts, eases your body. You are part of her cycle. You are like the moon, sometimes bright, sometimes hidden, sometimes full, sometimes waiting to return, but always whole, always guided. Let her mothers keep watch. Let their silver glow wrap around you like a blanket. Let their presence guide you deeper into rest, into dreams. The night is long, but safe. The stars move slowly. The moon continues her quiet path, watched over by her many names, her many faces. The mothers of the moonlight remain, carrying you into calm. Now drift onward, beneath their silver glow. Now rest as the stars return, the night is hushed. Stone rises around you, ancient and tall. You step softly into a forgotten shrine. Its doorway is worn with time, its walls touched by dust and shadow. Yet inside, something lingers. The air carries a faint sweetness, like incense long faded. Moonlight spills through cracks in the roof, painting silver pools upon the floor. The silence here is not empty. It is filled with memory. If you listen closely, you can hear it. A low sound, almost like breath, almost like song. The voices of priestesses still dwell in these walls. Their chants, once alive, still echo in the stone. Their prayers, once whispered, still rise like smoke into the night. Long ago, when the temple was alive, the air was never still. Torches burned at every pillar. The scent of myrrh and cedar filled the halls. Women dressed in flowing robes moved with slow grace, their steps quiet upon smooth stone. They gathered at dawn, at dusk, and at the dark of midnight. Their chants rose together, weaving sound into something more than music. Each note was a thread, and together the threads formed a tapestry of prayer. They sang not for themselves, but for the world, for the harvests, for the rivers, for children yet to be born. Their voices carried blessings into the air, like doves set free. The sound of those chants still clings to the stones. Listen closely and you may hear the rhythm. Low, steady like the heartbeat of the temple. It rises, then falls like the waves of the sea. It lingers, then softens, like wind through reeds. The priestesses believed their voices could reach the unseen, that each sound was a bridge, carrying human longing toward the divine. Every chant was shaped by breath, and breath itself was sacred, the living spirit within all. To breathe was to pray. To chant was to join breath with eternity. Imagine the temple alive again. The night is dark, yet within these walls the glow of torches flickers. Shadows dance upon carved figures, gods, goddesses, guardians of stone. The women gather in a circle. One begins with a single tone, low and steady. Another joins, her voice rising above. Then another and another, until the air is filled with harmony. Their voices do not compete. They weave together, soft and flowing, like streams joining into a river. The sound wraps around you, lifting and falling, carrying you deeper into calm. The chants are not hurried. Each word is stretched, like a breath held and released. Every pause is as sacred as the sound itself. The hymns spoke of creation, of the dawn when the first light touched the waters, of the stars placed gently across the sky, of the earth blooming with life. They spoke of the goddess present in every seed, every flame, every tide. They called her by many names, yet always with reverence. They sang of her as mother, as guardian, as eternal flame. Their words were simple, but their devotion gave them power. The stone itself seemed to drink in the sound, holding it within, so that even now, long after their voices faded, the memory remains. The chants were also healing. Those who were weary came to the temple, carrying sorrow in their hearts. They would sit upon the floor, close their eyes, and listen. The voices of the priestesses flowed around them like water, washing away fear, softening pain. The sick felt comfort. The lonely felt embraced. Even the dying felt peace, carried toward rest by the sound of song. The priestesses believed that every note was a gift, not only to the divine, but to those who listened. To sing was to heal, even if only for a moment. Now, though the women are gone, the walls remain, and the walls remember. They are filled with quiet echoes, a memory of devotion that time could not erase. If you lean close, you may hear them still. A faint hum, a distant tone, the breath of a prayer whispered ages ago. The temple becomes a dream. The air grows warmer. The shadows shimmer like smoke. You can almost see them. Figures in white, standing in rows, their heads bowed, their lips moving with song. Their eyes are soft, their faces calm. They do not look at you, yet their voices embrace you, carrying you gently like a tide. There is a legend that once, when the chants rose to their highest, the very stars trembled, that the heavens bent low listening, that for a moment the space between mortal and divine grew thin as though the two worlds touched. Those who were present never forgot. They spoke of light filling the hall, not the light of fire, but a light that seemed to glow from the voices themselves. It was said the goddess had drawn near, pleased by the devotion of her daughters. Whether true or not, the memory of that night lived on, told again and again, and still the walls hold it. Still the stones remember. Chanting is more than sound. It is rhythm. It is breath. It is the reminder that life itself moves like a song. Inhale, exhale, rise, fall, silence, return. The priestesses knew this. They taught that every heart carries a hidden chant, the quiet hum of being alive. When joined together, those heartbeats form a chorus, unseen but eternal. Now the temple grows quiet again. The torches fade. The figures of the women dissolve into shadows, yet the warmth of their voices remains. The memory of their song still lingers in the stones. Close your eyes within this dream. Hear the soft hum rise within the walls. It is not a loud sound. It is not a sharp sound. It is low, steady, like a lullaby sung across centuries. Let it move through you, calming your breath, softening your thoughts. Let it carry you deeper, into the silence beneath silence. The temple is not lost. It lives wherever the memory of song endures. It lives in the wind that hums across empty fields. It lives in the waves that chant upon the shore. It lives in the voices of those who sing softly in prayer, in sorrow, or in joy. The chants of the priestesses are never gone. They echo still in the hidden places of the world. And tonight, they echo within you. The night deepens. The shrine grows dim. The moonlight fades across the floor. The air is calm, safe, and still. The voices drift like mist, fading into silence. But the peace they brought remains. Now rest as the stars return. Let the chants of the priestesses carry you into sleep, gentle and unbroken. The desert lies wide and endless. Its sands stretch like a golden sea beneath the stars. The night wind moves gently across the dunes, carrying whispers older than memory. Above, the sky is vast, its stars bright as scattered jewels. Each star flickers like a candle, guiding travelers through the silence of the night. The desert seems empty, but it is not. It breathes. It remembers. It carries the stories of tribes who once wandered its paths, following the seasons, the waters, the hidden ways of survival. And among these stories are the songs of divine women, the daughters of the desert. They were not bound to a single village or shrine. Their presence lived in the shifting winds, in the rare wells of water, in the calm of the night sky. To the nomads, these women were guardians, unseen yet near. Their voices were heard in the rustle of palms at oases, in the soft cry of owls beneath the moon, in the rhythm of drums played at the edges of firelight. It was said that when a caravan was lost in the endless sands, the daughters would appear as faint lights, leading them to safety. Sometimes they were seen as stars moving low upon the horizon. Other times as women clothed in flowing veils, vanishing as quickly as they appeared. To meet them was rare, but to feel them was common. A hush of peace in the heart, a sudden breeze when all had been still. Around the fires, the tribe spoke of them with reverence. Mothers told children that the daughters lived both in the heavens and in the earth. Their feet touched the sand, yet their faces shone like constellations. They were guides, protectors, bringers of hope. When storms rose and winds howled like angry spirits, the people prayed to the daughters. They prayed not with fear, but with trust. They believed the women's hands could part the sand, opening a path toward calm. And when the rains finally came, rare and precious, the people said it was the blessing of the daughters, pouring life back into the thirsty land. The desert has always been a place of trial. By day the sun blazes fierce and unyielding. By night the cold settles sharp and deep. Yet in this place of hardship, the daughters were signs of gentleness. They reminded the people that even in emptiness there is care. Even in barrenness there is blessing. The nomads believed that each oasis was guarded by one of the daughters. Her spirit lingered by the water, invisible but watchful. When travelers arrived, weary and near collapse, they were entering her embrace. The cool shade, the fresh water, the rustle of palm leaves, all were gifts of her unseen presence. Some said you could feel her most clearly when you lay beside the water at night. The stars reflected on the surface, and in the rippling light, faces could be seen. Gentle faces with eyes as deep as night, watching over those who rested. Stories also spoke of the daughters as star-givers. When a child was born beneath the open desert sky, families lifted the infant toward the heavens. They believed one star above belonged to that child, a gift placed by the daughters. The star would guide them through life, a silent companion shining far above. Children were told to whisper their dreams to the stars at night, for the daughters who lived among them would listen. They would carry those whispers, weaving them into the fabric of destiny. Thus, the sky was not distant. It was alive with presence, filled with daughters who watched, listened, and guided. Caravans told tales of encounters. One story spoke of a weary traveler, lost for days with no water left. As he stumbled across the sand, ready to collapse, he saw a woman in white standing atop a dune. Her veil shimmered like silver, her hand lifted, pointing toward the horizon. He followed, and within the hour he found a hidden spring. When he turned to thank her, she was gone, but the water remained cool and sweet. The tribe said it was a daughter who had led him, and her blessing kept him alive. Another tale told of a storm so fierce it blotted out the stars. A group of nomads huddled together, their camels restless and frightened. Suddenly, through the wall of sand, a figure appeared. She carried a lamp that glowed though no flame burned. She walked ahead, and the storm seemed to soften where she passed. The people followed, and soon the storm parted, leaving them in safety. The lamp faded, and the woman was gone. But in the sky above, a new star shone bright and unwavering. It was said the daughter had become that star, so that she could guide them forever. These stories were never told with fear. They were told softly with wonder. The daughters were never angry spirits, never demanding or harsh. They were gentle companions, present in silence, present in hardship, present in the spaces where hope seemed to fade. Their presence taught the tribes patience, for the desert could not be rushed. The winds could not be forced, the rains could not be commanded. But the daughters reminded them that even in waiting, there is protection. Even in stillness, there is guidance. At night, when the fires burned low, the tribes sang to them. Their songs were not loud but soft, almost whispers carried by the breeze. Simple words, repeated like waves. Words of gratitude for the water, for the stars, for the safety of another day. Children fell asleep to these songs, feeling safe beneath the vast dome of the heavens. The stars were no longer cold or distant. They were faces, eyes, voices. They were sisters, mothers, daughters, watching from above. And so, night after night, the bond grew deeper. The desert was no longer empty. It was a home, shared with spirits who cared. Even now, if you walk the desert at night, you may feel them. The breeze may touch your face as softly as a hand. The stars may seem to shine with unusual warmth. The silence may carry a hum, low and steady like the beginning of a song. The daughters are not gone. They dwell in the same places as before, in the waters, in the stars, in the hearts of those who seek hope in barren lands. They remind us that no place is truly empty, that even in the harshest paths comfort is near, and that every star above is not only a light, but a companion. The night deepens over the desert. The dunes rest beneath silver light. The winds grow softer, carrying only the faintest whisper. You are safe beneath the watchful sky. The daughters are near, though unseen. They are in the stars above, in the silence around you, in the calm within your breath. Let their presence carry you deeper into rest. Let their voices hum like a lullaby across the sand. The desert is wide, but you are never alone within it. Now rest as the stars return. Let the daughters of the desert guide you into dream, where the winds are gentle and the night is without end. The night is quiet. The stars lean low over the world, their silver light brushing the earth like soft hands. A gentle mist rises from waters that move in silence, dark and deep. You find yourself beside a river, its surface smooth as glass, carrying the reflection of the moon. The air is cool. The sound of flowing water fills the space with calm. It is the song of the river mothers. From the beginning of time, rivers have been more than streams of water. They have been lifelines, carrying food, carrying hope, carrying the breath of the earth itself. And in every land where rivers flow, people have felt the presence of the feminine divine. They saw in the waters the body of a mother, stretching, winding, cradling the soil in her embrace. They believed her touch nourished the seeds. They believed her currents carried blessings. To the ancient ones, rivers were not only paths. They were protectors. They were givers. They were living spirits who watched over the people who dwelled along their banks. In the lands of the Nile, people spoke of the river as the mother of kingdoms. Every year the Nile would rise, spilling its waters across the dry earth. Fields once cracked with heat became soft and black with fertile soil. The people saw this not as chance, but as gift. They whispered of a goddess hidden in the waters, her arms spreading with the flood, her hands laying blessings upon the earth. Priestesses lit lamps along the banks. The flames flickered against the dark waters, small stars resting on the surface. The river was their altar, endless and flowing. Children were bathed in her currents, so they might carry her strength. The Nile was not only a river, it was a mother, shaping the land, shaping the lives of all who dwelled near her. Far to the east, another river sang its sacred song, the Indus. Its waters curled like threads of silver through valleys and fields. The people who lived along its banks felt her presence in every season. In the monsoons, when rains came heavy, she rose with power. In the dry months she slowed, moving gentle and calm. But in every form, she was steady, like the breath of a mother beside her sleeping child. The Indus was seen as a goddess of rhythm. Her cycles reminded the people that life too moved in tides, rising, falling, flowing, returning. At night, offerings of flowers were set upon the water. Lotus blossoms, marigolds, and tiny lamps drifted downstream. Each carried a prayer, a hope, a dream. And the river, the mother, was believed to receive them all, carrying them into the deep, carrying them into the silence where wishes became part of the eternal flow. And still farther, between desert and mountain, two rivers wound their way, the Tigris and the Euphrates. They were called twins, two mothers who together cradled the first gardens of humankind. Their waters spread like open arms, turning barren ground into fields of abundance. Wheat swayed like golden seas. Date palms reached upward, heavy with fruit. The rivers gave without ceasing, and so the people honored them as divine. They believed spirits of the waters walked among the reeds. They spoke of goddesses who poured life from clay jars, letting rivers spill into the earth. And when the people built their earliest temples, they placed them near the waters, for they felt closest to the sacred where the rivers touched the land. Every river, every flow was seen as a mother. The people did not take their waters for granted. They looked upon the currents with reverence, listening as though each ripple were a word spoken from beyond. The rivers taught patience. A river does not hurry. It curves and bends, moving gently yet surely. It carves valleys, shapes mountains, nourishes fields. It teaches that strength need not be sudden. Strength can be slow, silent, enduring. The rivers taught renewal. For even when the land seemed dry, the waters always returned. Floods came, rains fell, streams filled once more. The people learned to trust in cycles, that what fades will rise again, that what rests will wake again. In the stillness of night, the river mothers spoke through dreams. Those who slept near the waters often woke with visions. Some saw great birds lifting from the waves, their wings silver with moonlight. Others dreamed of women clothed in flowing garments, their hair long as the river itself, their eyes calm and deep. The dreamers felt peace upon waking, as if they had been held in a gentle embrace. Children were told that the river mothers could hear their hearts. When sadness weighed heavy, they were encouraged to sit by the banks and whisper their feelings into the water. The current would carry the sorrow away. It would drift and dissolve, becoming part of something greater, leaving the child lighter, free, once more to smile. Rivers also held the mystery of rebirth. Many believed that to enter the water was to be made new. To wash in the river was not only to cleanse the body, but to cleanse the spirit. The water carried away what was heavy, what no longer served. It carried burdens downstream, leaving only freshness, only renewal. In some lands, the dead were placed upon the river, carried by its flow. It was not seen as an ending, but as a passage. The waters bore them into another realm, into the embrace of the divine. The people trusted that the river mothers would guide them, gentle as ever, into the life beyond. The rivers glowed not only in sunlight, but in starlight. On clear nights, the surface mirrored the heavens above. Stars shimmered on the currents, making it seem as though the sky itself were flowing across the earth. People looked upon this sight with awe. They said the river mothers held hands with the stars, joining heaven and earth in one unbroken stream. Travelers resting by the banks would lie down upon the sand and gaze upward. The stars above, the stars reflected below. Together they formed a cradle of light. Within it, the traveler felt safe, felt small, yet cherished. The rivers reminded them that the world was wide, yet all things were held together in care. There were songs for the river mothers, soft chants sung in the hush of dawn or at twilight when the horizon burned gold. The words were simple, but the melody was tender, flowing like water itself. Mothers taught these songs to their daughters, who in turn taught them to theirs. The songs echoed across generations, just as the rivers themselves flowed through time. Even now the old songs remain. When flowers are set upon the waters, when lamps float in the night, when children play along the banks, the spirit of the river mothers is present. They have never left. They remain in every current, every stream, every drop of rain that falls. The night deepens. The river beside you moves with steady breath, calm and eternal. Its sound is like a lullaby carrying you further into rest. The stars above lean closer, their light soft upon your face. The river mothers are near, their presence flowing not only through the waters, but through the quiet of your heart. Let the rivers carry you now. Let their current be your guide, their song your cradle. You are safe in their embrace, safe in their flow. Now rest as the stars return. Let the river mothers guide you into dream, where waters are endless, where all burdens drift away, and where every breath is peace. The night grows deeper. Stars shimmer like scattered jewels across the endless sky. A stillness falls, soft as a woven cloth laid over the world. And in that stillness there is a doorway, a place where waking drifts into dreaming. It is here that the ancient dream weavers wait. Their presence is gentle, like silk brushed against the skin. They are not loud nor commanding. They come quietly through the veil of sleep, carrying threads of light and shadow. Each thread is a story, each story a lesson, and with patient hands, they weave those threads into visions that settle upon the heart. In old temples long ago, seekers spoke of them, priestesses who closed their eyes by the sacred fire and drifted into the dream world not to escape it, but to return with wisdom carried across the silent waters of sleep. Among the Greeks, some whispered of women touched by Morpheus, who moved between dream and waking. They would rest in shrines, and their dreams would be filled with messages from gods or spirits, symbols that guided kings and wanderers alike. A feather falling, a river turning, a star breaking, simple visions yet rich with meaning. The dream weavers spoke in images, not in words. They trusted the soul to listen, the heart to understand what the mind could not. Far away, in the sands of Egypt, the dream temples of Serapis and Isis stood. There, women who carried the gift of sight would fall into trance, and seekers would lie upon the temple floor, waiting for dreams to descend like a gentle mist. It was said that Isis herself taught her daughters the weaving of visions. She gave them the art of placing healing symbols into the dreams of the weary. A lotus for renewal, a bird for freedom, a golden thread for protection. When the dreamer awoke, these images stayed within the spirit, shaping choices, softening pain, guiding steps toward a quieter, kinder path. In the lands of the north, too, stories were told of women who rode the rivers of dreams. The Volvas, the seeresses of Norse memory, closed their eyes beneath the long winter sky. They sang softly, their voices weaving spells that slipped into the dreams of their kin. Through these visions, travelers saw the way through storms, mothers knew the health of their unborn, and warriors found courage in the face of the unknown. To these women, dreams were not illusions. They were threads of the great tapestry woven by unseen hands, meant to be read with reverence. Dreams flow like rivers. They bend, they ripple, they carry us without effort. And the dream weavers sit upon the river's edge, their fingers dipping into the waters, sending ripples of light across the surface. Some dreams bring comfort, a warm home, a familiar face, a long-lost embrace. Some bring lessons, a broken bridge, a locked door, a path that ends in shadow. The weavers place each one with care, never to harm, only to guide, like lanterns set upon a darkened road. You drift deeper now, and it is as if you can see them, figures clothed in moonlight, their hair flowing like streams of silver. They lean close, not with words, but with presence, and a quiet knowing fills the air. One dream weaver lays a thread across your vision. It glows faintly, and in it you glimpse a garden. The garden is not of this world. Trees too tall, flowers too luminous, a sky that hums with color. It is the soul's reminder of paradise, the place of rest and belonging. Another weaver places a darker thread. It is the image of a winding road, long and empty, stretching into night. And yet upon the road a lantern flickers, small but steady. The dream tells you, even in long journeys, light remains. The ancients honored such dreams as sacred, not to be dismissed, but to be held like gentle seeds planted in the soil of the heart. For in those quiet visions, something greater was always at work. The dream weavers were guardians, guides not of the body, but of the spirit's hidden pathways. They moved unseen, yet their touch was felt by kings and shepherds alike. Now, imagine the hush of a desert night. Sand cooling beneath a wide sky, the wind soft as a lullaby. In such silence, a weary traveler falls asleep by the fire, and as the flames crackle low, a dream descends. The voice of a woman, gentle and sure, telling him of an oasis just beyond the dunes. He wakes with hope and walks the right way. Or picture the stillness of a mountain shrine. A pilgrim kneels in prayer, then rests, eyes heavy, head bowed upon the stone floor, and in his dream a woman in white touches his shoulder, showing him the path upward through fog and storm. When he wakes, the memory of her hand steadies his heart. These were the gifts of the dream weavers. Not commands, not demands, but soft guidance, woven like silk threads into the fabric of sleep, and so you rest, held now by their ancient presence. Your breathing slows. Your body sinks deeper into stillness. Dreams gather at the edge of your awareness, shapes forming like clouds that drift and change. You may see water. You may see fire. You may see nothing but soft colors. All is well. All is safe. For the dream weavers are near, placing threads of light upon your heart. The night carries you further. Above, the stars lean closer, watching with calm and patient eyes. The air is warm, yet filled with quiet coolness, like the breath of old forests at dusk. You float within it, untroubled, peaceful. The dream weavers smile, their work complete. They step back into shadow, their threads still shining across your resting mind. And with each thread, a blessing remains. Comfort, renewal, guidance, peace. Now let your body soften. Let your spirit drift. You are safe in the hands of night, and the dream weavers keep watch. Their wisdom flows into silence. Their stories fade into the rhythm of your breath. Rest now. The dreams will come, and when they do, you will know that gentle hands have woven them with love. Let us drift onward. As the dream weavers fade into the starlit night, the night is deep. A silver moon hangs low, casting soft light over fields that seem endless. The earth rests quiet and still, yet beneath its dark skin life waits. Seeds sleep in silence, small, unseen, yet holding the promise of forests and harvests. It is here, in this hush of the earth, that the guardians of the sacred seeds are remembered. They were women of the soil, keepers of ancient knowledge, hands always carrying both grain and prayer. They knew the secrets of planting, of timing, of blessing the furrows before the first rains fell. But more than that, they understood the mystery of growth, that from a single seed, the world could be fed, the spirit could be healed, the cycle of life could be renewed. Long ago, in lands where rivers flowed wide, women gathered at dawn to greet the fields. They carried baskets of seed, woven from reeds and grasses. Their feet pressed into the cool soil, and their voices rose in song, low and steady, like a lullaby for the earth itself. To the people, these women were more than planters. They were priestesses, bridges between heaven and soil. When they cast seeds upon the ground, it was never done in silence. Each grain was carried with a prayer, a whisper for rain, a blessing for growth, a hope for the children yet to be born. In the valleys of Mesopotamia, it was said that women danced for Inanna, the goddess of love, of harvest, of renewal. With their hands they scattered barley across the fields, each motion a sacred rhythm. They believed the goddess herself watched, her spirit descending with the morning light, touching every seed with hidden power. The seeds were more than food. They were vessels of continuity. To plant them was to say, life will return, spring will come again, the people will endure. And so the women's dance was not only for the body, but for the soul of the whole land. In the green fields of ancient Greece, the mysteries of Demeter and her daughter Persephone told of seeds that fell into darkness only to rise again. Women who honored Demeter walked the furrows with torches, their flames glowing against the night sky. They carried not just wheat, but the sacred knowledge of rebirth. They told the people, just as the seed must sleep in shadow, so must the soul rest before it rises again. And in this way, the planting of fields became a mirror of the soul's own journey, falling, waiting, and returning to light. Far across deserts, in the lands of the Nile, women sang for Isis, goddess of motherhood and renewal. With gentle hands, they laid seeds into soil darkened by the flooding river. They pressed each one into the earth as though cradling a newborn child. The Nile's waters carried silt and life, and the women's songs carried blessing and faith. They were called mothers of the fields. Every stalk that grew, every ear of wheat that bent under the sun was seen as their child, nursed by the earth, raised by their devotion. The guardians of the sacred seeds lived in many lands. In India, women poured milk and honey into the soil, an offering to the Divine Mother who makes all things grow. They saw each grain as a spark of Shakti, the life force of the universe dwelling in the smallest husk. In their rituals, they circled the fields with lamps, their flames swaying like stars fallen to earth, promising light even in the deepest night. In the forests of the Americas, women pressed corn into the ground with prayers spoken over every kernel. Corn was more than food. It was sacred breath, a gift of the earth spirit. They told stories of the corn mother, who sacrificed herself so that her children might eat. By planting, women were reenacting her gift, renewing the bond between earth and people. Always the guardians knew that planting was more than survival. It was hope woven into soil. Each seed was a small future, and to bless it was to say, "We trust the unseen. We believe in the return of life." Their rituals were quiet, not for spectacle, but for intimacy. A whispered song, a touch of water, a handful of earth scattered like incense. The movements were simple, yet every gesture was tied to the great rhythm of the world. Close your eyes now. Imagine a night field silent under starlight. The air is cool, the earth still warm from the day. You see women moving slowly between rows, their lanterns glowing, their voices rising in soft harmony. They kneel, they press seeds into the earth, their palms lingering as if offering a blessing. You hear the rustle of cloth, the murmur of prayer, the quiet hum of ancient devotion. The field feels alive as though listening. The soil itself breathes, receiving each gift with patience, promising to return abundance in its time. The sacred seeds remind us, life is not instant. It unfolds gently. A seed waits. It sinks into darkness. It rests unseen. Only then does it begin to stir, to reach, to break the surface with tender green. So too with the heart. Dreams and hopes often begin in silence, buried deep. They rest in stillness, in waiting, in faith. And when the time is right, they bloom. This is what the guardians taught, that the earth is a mirror of the soul, that patience is sacred, that waiting can be holy. The night deepens. The moon shifts across the sky and the fields lie calm. The guardians of the sacred seeds step back, their work complete. In their hands, soil clings like fine dust, soft as memory. In their hearts, the quiet knowing of women who have carried life through countless seasons. The seeds sleep beneath the soil. They will dream until the rains return. And above, the stars shine like watchful eyes, blessing both earth and dreamer alike. Rest now. Feel the stillness of fertile ground. Feel the calm of seeds sleeping beneath the surface. You too are like a seed, resting, waiting, safe in the embrace of night. The guardians keep watch, their songs still echoing softly in the air. You are held, you are blessed. You are part of the ancient cycle of life. Let us drift onward, as the sacred seeds dream in silence and the night carries us deeper into rest. The night is wide and endless. The sky opens like a deep ocean above, its waters dark and filled with silver sparks. You drift beneath it, your body heavy with rest. Your spirit light as breath. Every star seems to whisper, each glow a gentle reminder that the heavens hold stories, ancient and tender, woven by the hands of time. High above, the constellations shimmer, forming shapes once traced by storytellers long gone. Among them shine the sisters of the stars, divine women who rose beyond the earth to become lights that never fade. Long ago, before maps and clocks, people looked upward for guidance. The stars were not only bright, they were alive, guardians of the night. To travelers and dreamers, they were lanterns. To farmers, they were calendars. To poets, they were eternal companions. And to many, the stars were women, sisters, mothers, daughters, their souls lifted into the heavens to guide the living. The Greeks told of the Pleiades, 7 sisters whose beauty was like starlight itself. Born of a Titan father and a sea nymph mother, they were pursued across the earth. To save them, the gods lifted them into the sky. Now they shine as a cluster of delicate lights, rising in autumn, guiding sailors and wanderers, marking the seasons of planting and harvest. Each sister bears her name. Maya, the gentle mother. Electra, the radiant flame. Taygeta, who loved the forests. Alcyone, soft as a calm sea. Celaeno, the dark cloud. Sterope, the shining spark. And Meropa, the hidden one, whose faint glow tells of sorrow and mystery. Together, they are the Pleiades, a family of light, always near each other, always guiding from above. But the sisters of the stars are not found in Greece alone. In the lands of the Pacific, the Pleiades were honored too. The Maori of New Zealand called them Matariki, a sign of the new year. When Madariki rises, families gather to remember their ancestors, to honor the past, and to plant hopes for the seasons ahead. The cluster becomes not just stars, but kin. It reminds the people that those who have gone still shine, still guide, still belong to the family of light. In the deserts of the Navajo, the Pleiades are called the hard flint boys, yet they are also linked to women who carried songs of balance and harmony. To the Cherokee, they were 7 young maidens who danced with such devotion that the earth lifted them skyward. Their circle became eternal, a dance of stars above, still spinning through the night. Wherever they are seen, the 7 sisters carry the same truth. The stars are family, and family never fades. Not far away, another figure shines bright. She is Cassiopeia, the queen upon her throne. Her constellation forms a crown of 5 stars twinkling across the northern sky. Though her tale speaks of vanity and pride, in the night she becomes something gentler. She is a reminder of dignity, of the eternal presence of the feminine set high in the heavens. When the sky turns cold in winter, Cassiopeia rides above a motherly figure, watching over travelers with her tilted starry crown. In Egypt, the goddess Nut stretched across the heavens, her body the arch of the sky itself. Her limbs shimmered with stars, and her face glowed like the moon. To the ancients, every star was a jewel upon her skin, each one a child born of her eternal embrace. She was the mother of the cosmos, and every night she swallowed the sun, only to birth it again in dawn's first light. When people looked upward, they did not see cold fire. They saw her, a goddess of shelter, a canopy of endless care. Every star was her laughter, her breath, her eternal watch over the living. In the lands of India, the stars were also sisters. The Kritikas, a cluster of 7 women, were said to nurse the child god Kartikeya, feeding him with light and devotion. Their constellation, too, is the Pleiades, yet here they are mothers, not maidens, reminding the people that nurture, even from the heavens, is eternal. Thus, in every sky, the sisters shift in form. Maidens, mothers, queens, yet always guides, always guardians, always lights that do not fade. Imagine yourself now, lying beneath a sky untouched by cities. The air is cool. The night is deep. Above you, the Pleiades shimmer faint and blue, a delicate cluster near the shoulder of Taurus. They flicker like a small fire in the darkness, inviting your gaze to soften, to follow their eternal pattern. You feel their presence, gentle and constant. They are not far. They are not unreachable. They are kin, watching, guiding, singing across the silence of the sky. The Sisters of the Stars teach us that light never dies. It only travels, crossing distance, carrying memory, weaving guidance across generations. Every star is a story, and every story is a seed of hope. When people looked upward, they did not only see fire. They saw belonging. They saw love. They saw the reflection of their own lives, set in the heavens to remind them that no one is ever alone. The night grows softer. The stars blur into a gentle haze. You feel as though you drift among them, your body still on earth, but your spirit floating upward, lighter and lighter. Around you, the sisters shine. They move as family, close, connected, never apart. They whisper comfort, their voices woven into the silence. They remind you that you too belong, that you too carry light, that your story also glimmers in the great sky. Rest now. The sisters will keep their watch. Their glow will not falter. Their presence will not fade. The heavens are vast, yet they are near, close as breath, gentle as dreams. Let us drift onward, under their eternal care, as the stars return, and the night carries us deeper into peace. The night is still. The air is soft and cool, like the touch of silk upon the skin. A pale moon hangs above, mirrored in a quiet pool. The stars scatter across the heavens, their light trembling on the surface of water. Here begins the story of the keepers of healing waters. Ancient women, gentle as dawn mist, who guarded springs, rivers, and hidden wells. They were remembered not as warriors of blade, but as guardians of calm. Their hands touched water with reverence. Their prayers were whispered into ripples that carried blessings far beyond sight. Close your eyes and let the sound of water guide you inward. A slow drip, a tender stream, a calm wave. Each drop a heartbeat, each ripple a breath. Long ago, before cities rose from stone, the earth was known as a living mother. Her veins were rivers. Her breath was the rain. Her tears were the sacred wells. and women were chosen to watch over these waters, as if they were treasures placed between the worlds. In the valleys of Ireland, legends spoke of wells guarded by wise maidens. Clear waters bubbled from the earth, said to cure the weary and ease the soul. Pilgrims came quietly, not in haste, but with slow footsteps, as if entering a temple. They washed their faces, they sipped from the spring, and they left offerings. Flowers, ribbons, soft whispers of thanks. The maidens were not queens with crowns of gold. They were clothed in simple garments, woven of earth tones. Yet the people saw in them a deeper crown, one that shone with the light of compassion, for they guarded not only water, but the gentle hope that flows through it. Far to the east, in the deserts of Arabia, there was the story of Hagar. Alone and desperate beneath the sun, she searched for water to save her child. And in her prayer, a spring was born, the well of Zamzam flowing still. Through her endurance, the earth answered. Through her courage, life was restored. Hagar, too, was a keeper of waters. Her story is not only one of thirst, but of faith. For the spring that rose from her grief became a fountain for generations, a reminder that in moments of despair, the earth can still give. By the green banks of Greece, there were the naiads, water nymphs, daughters of rivers and fountains. They were said to dwell in cool groves, where shadows of willow and oak lay across the streams. Travelers who paused at their pools found not only refreshment, but a strange sense of peace. The naiads were keepers of joy, protectors of the balance between water and soul. Their laughter was said to be the sound of brooks tumbling over stones. Their silence was the deep hush of still ponds at dusk, and in India, the sacred river Ganga was honored as a goddess herself. Her waters were believed to cleanse not only the body but the spirit. Along her shores, women carried pots balanced upon their heads, each step a rhythm, each drop within their vessels a reminder of the flowing divine. The river did not belong to one village, nor one people. It belonged to all who sought her. She was the mother of waters, the eternal keeper. Her flow carried prayers downstream, as if whispers became part of the endless sea. Everywhere, across the lands, the sacred waters were remembered. The guardians of those waters were not feared, but loved. They were women of presence, of patience, of silence. They taught that water itself is a healer, gentle, steady, unbroken. For water listens. It listens to grief and softens it. It listens to joy and reflects it. It listens to silence and becomes silence itself. Imagine yourself now by a spring hidden in the forest. The moonlight falls in silver threads through the branches. The air carries the scent of wet earth and moss. A gentle trickle can be heard, flowing over smooth stones. You kneel at the edge of the pool. The water glimmers as if stars are resting within it. When you dip your hand, it feels cool, alive, and kind. As you lift your palm, drops fall back, each one like a tiny bell of clarity. A woman steps from the shadows of the trees. Her face is calm, her eyes deep with knowing. She is a keeper of waters. Her voice is not loud but soft as a flowing stream. She tells you without words, this water carries memory. This water carries blessing. This water carries peace. You drink, and the taste is simple, yet more than simple. It feels like rest. It feels like renewal. It feels like being held by something far greater than yourself. The keepers of waters taught that healing is not always a sudden fire. Sometimes healing is slow, like rain soaking into the ground, like rivers carving valleys across ages, like drops collecting until they form a spring. Their gift was patience. Their wisdom was presence. Their prayer was the ripple that spread outward, farther than any eye could follow. In times of drought, the people prayed beside the women. Together they sang gentle songs, asking the skies for rain. They did not command the heavens. They waited with trust, and when the rain came, every drop was received as holy. When the sick arrived at the wells, the women offered water with their hands. Sometimes the sickness left, sometimes it did not, but always the water carried comfort, and in that comfort there was a kind of healing that the body alone could not explain. The keepers of healing waters remind us that peace does not always roar. It flows quietly like a hidden spring. It teaches us to bow low, to listen, to be patient, to let life move gently through us, like rivers finding their way home. Now let the image soften. The sacred well fades into mist. The guardian's voice lingers, like the echo of a stream. The sound of water remains, steady, endless, soothing. Breathe with it. Slow, calm, as if each breath is drawn from a sacred spring within you, as if your heart itself is a pool, clear and still, held in kindness. Let the keepers of waters watch over your rest. Let their stories flow through you, tender as moonlit rivers, and as the stars rise higher, their reflections scatter across the endless waters of night. The world is quiet. The soul is calm. Now drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. The night unfolds like a gentle cloth, woven of shadow and silver. The stars drift quietly above, soft as lanterns in the vast dark. The earth rests in silence, and in this silence, voices not written in books, not carved in stone, still linger. They belong to the women who moved like whispers through history. Their steps left no footprints that time could claim. Their names were not sung in the halls of kings. Their words were not carved into tablets of law. Yet their presence remains, woven into the quiet spaces between memory and forgetting. They are the keepers of the silent veil, a veil not of absence but of mystery, not of loss but of deep listening. Imagine walking through a twilight meadow. The grass bends with the weight of dew. The sky glows with the soft afterlight of day, fading slowly into night. Here, in this place between light and dark, you feel the company of those unseen. They do not speak aloud. They do not call your name. But their nearness is felt as a hush in the heart, as a pause between breaths. These women were not remembered by history's loud voices, yet they shaped life in ways that cannot be erased. Through hands that gathered herbs by moonlight, through songs sung to children as they drifted into dreams, through prayers whispered to rivers, mountains, and stars. They lived not in the roar of war, but in the soft endurance of care. In ancient lands, stories often told of queens and goddesses, of warriors and prophets. But for every tale that survived, countless lives slipped beneath the veil. A midwife who guided births, her name forgotten. A weaver whose fingers shaped patterns like constellations, yet no record remains. A singer whose voice once healed grief, her melody now a breath of wind. Their silence was not emptiness. It was the silence of deep waters holding unseen depth. It was the silence of seeds beneath soil, waiting for spring. It was the silence of prayer that never sought reward, only to be heard by the eternal. In Egypt, there were women who prepared the sacred oils, who wrapped the bodies of the dead with care. Their work was unseen, their names unwritten, yet their touch was the bridge between life and eternity. In Greece, women tended hearth fires in quiet temples, their daily offerings unmarked by historians. Yet each flame kept the bond between mortals and gods. In China, women carried wisdom through lullabies and quiet teaching, their words never carved into bamboo scrolls, yet carried in the hearts of children for generations. Every culture had its silent veil, every land its hidden keepers. Sometimes their silence was chosen, a vow to retreat, to guard mysteries, to hold wisdom close. At other times, silence was forced upon them, pressed like a shadow over their voices. Yet even then, silence became its own language. Through silence, they learned to listen more deeply, to hear the turning of seasons, to hear the rhythm of breath, to hear the unspoken ache in another's eyes. The veil they wore was not always cloth. Sometimes it was the veil of obscurity, hiding them from the pride of kings. Sometimes it was the veil of time, erasing their names from memory. And sometimes it was the veil of the heart, where words were unnecessary. For not every truth must be shouted, not every wisdom must be written. Some truths are carried in silence, like a pearl hidden in the deep sea, shining though unseen. You walk further into the meadow. The mist begins to rise, silver and soft. Shapes move within it, not shadows, but figures woven of memory and quiet. Their faces are calm, their eyes luminous as stars hidden behind thin clouds. They do not speak, but you feel them. Their presence flows around you like water. One woman bends to gather herbs, her basket cradling leaves of healing. Another sits by a loom, her hands guiding threads into endless patterns. Another rocks a child to sleep, her hum low and steady as the earth's heartbeat. Another kneels in prayer, her lips moving silently beneath the night sky. Their silence speaks. It tells you we were here, we are still here. In every breath, in every life, in every unseen thread that binds the world together. The power of the silent veil is not in erasing, but in softening. It teaches patience.
It teaches humility.
It teaches that not every voice needs to be loud to be eternal, like water flowing underground, hidden yet unstoppable, like roots beneath trees, unseen yet holding forests upright, like the night sky itself, quiet, endless, filled with unseen stars. The ancient ones understood this mystery. That silence can be a teacher. That quiet can be a prayer. That hidden lives, though unnamed, are woven into the fabric of eternity. When you drink from a well, you do not know the hands that first dug it. When you rest by the fire, you do not know who gathered the wood long before you. When you speak a language, you do not know the women who shaped its first lullabies. Yet they are present. They are here beneath the veil. Now let the meadow fade into stillness. The mist thickens, wrapping the figures in silver light. They turn back into whispers, into threads of air. The veil closes, but gently, with no sense of loss. For what is hidden is never truly gone. Breathe deeply. Feel the quiet enter your chest. Let the silence of the veil rest within you. A silence that is not empty, but full of unseen presence. A silence that holds you, like a soft hand upon your shoulder. As you drift, remember them. The silent keepers, the hidden women, the veiled guardians. They are with you in the quiet. They are with you in the breath between thoughts. They are with you as you rest. Now let the stars return. Let the night deepen. Let the veil close softly, like eyelids at the edge of sleep, and drift onward. Rest gently, in the silence that heals. Night spreads across the sky like a soft veil of velvet. The stars open slowly, one by one, like lanterns lit in silence. The earth breathes deeply, resting after the weight of day. And in this stillness, you are carried into the presence of the eternal mothers. They are not bound by time or land. They belong to every heart that has ever longed for comfort. They are the vast embrace of the heavens. They are the gentle weight of arms cradling a child. They are the endless song of care, whispered through every age. The eternal mothers live in stories, in prayers, in dreams. They are remembered in temples and in hearth fires. They are felt in rivers, in mountains, in the wind that cools your brow. They are the guardians who never leave, though their faces shift like clouds across the moon. Imagine a quiet temple at twilight. Its stones are warm from the sun, now cooling under the touch of evening. A single lamp flickers, its flame bending gently, as though bowing to unseen presence. Here the mothers are near. You sense them in the hush, in the stillness between breaths. You feel them in the earth beneath your feet, steady and safe. They have taken many forms, across many lands. In Egypt they were Isis, wings spread wide, a sheltering sky for those who grieved. In Greece they were Demeter, who taught that even in sorrow, seeds could rise again. In India they were Durga, fierce and radiant, yet mother to the whole universe. In Mesopotamia they were Ninhursag, the mountain mother, from whose body life itself blossomed. Every land carried her name in a different voice. Yet the essence was one, the unbroken care of the eternal mothers. They are the mothers of the cosmos, not only of flesh but of spirit. They gave birth to worlds, to rivers, to stars. They gave birth to the quiet courage that helps you rise each morning. They gave birth to the gentle love that whispers even when no words are spoken. The eternal mothers are vast yet intimate. They hold galaxies in their arms, yet they also kneel beside a cradle rocking softly. They stir the winds that move oceans, yet they also soothe the small ache in your chest. They are the pattern of the universe itself, endless giving, endless holding. Beneath their gaze, even the smallest life is sacred.
A bird building its nest.
A seed breaking through the soil. A child reaching for comfort in the night. All are carried, all are known, all are loved. The eternal mothers have no need for temples of stone. The earth itself is their temple. The sky is their roof. The rivers their flowing altars. The stars their lanterns. Every lullaby ever sung belongs to them. Every prayer whispered in fear or hope belongs to them. Every dream of peace is their gift. In ancient times, people told stories of these mothers to remember the truth of care. When famine came, they prayed to them for food. When war raged, they prayed for safety. When sorrow fell, they prayed for comfort. The prayers did not always change the world outside, but they always brought peace within, as if a warm hand had been laid gently upon the heart. Even now their presence moves quietly. It lives in the touch of one who wipes away a tear. It lives in the embrace that makes you feel safe. It lives in the quiet strength that carries you through hard days. Their arms are not gone. Their voices are not lost. They continue, eternal, woven into the very fabric of life. The eternal mothers also teach through cycles. They show us that loss is not the end but a resting place. That winter holds the seed of spring. That darkness carries the seed of light. That even in grief, love still breathes. Demeter's sorrow for her lost daughter became the turning of the seasons. Isis's grief over Osiris became the promise of life after death. Durga's strength became the courage found in every heart. Ninhursag's body became the mountain, the fertile land itself. Through them, the world was reminded, every ending leads to a new beginning. Every silence leads to a new song. Every night leads to dawn. You drift deeper now. The temple fades. The stars grow brighter, like eyes watching with endless tenderness. You feel the arms of the eternal mothers around you, not heavy but soft, like a blanket of moonlight. They rock you gently, as a mother rocks her child. Not to move you anywhere, but to soothe, to cradle. Their song is not made of words. It is the hum of rivers flowing, the rustle of leaves, the heartbeat of the earth. You are safe in their arms, safe to let go of the day, safe to close your eyes, safe to rest. The eternal mothers are not only of the past, they are also of the now and of all tomorrows. They live wherever love gives without asking, where care is offered quietly, where hope is planted, even when the soil is hard. Every act of kindness is their voice. Every hand that comforts is their hand. Every heart that loves, even in silence, carries their spirit. As night deepens, you feel the weight of their presence soften. They are still with you, but like stars, they no longer need to shine so close. They rise gently, like a tide, leaving peace in their wake. Their final gift tonight is rest. They whisper not in words, but in silence. A silence full of safety, a silence full of care. Let your breath follow theirs, slow and deep. Let your body rest in their embrace, light as a leaf upon water. Let your mind grow quiet, like a temple after prayer. The eternal mothers remain, watching, holding, caring, always. Now drift onward. Let the arms of night cradle you. Let the song of the mothers follow you into dreams. Rest, child of the stars. Rest, child of the earth. Rest in the embrace of the eternal mothers. The night is soft. The stars are dimming, bowing their heads as the first light of day begins its slow return. The air is cool, carrying the scent of earth and the faint rustle of leaves. In this gentle moment, the world is neither night nor day. It is a threshold, a doorway, a breath held in stillness. Here at the edge of time, the priestesses of dawn awaken. They rise with quiet grace, their steps light, their garments flowing like mist upon the earth. Their hair glimmers faintly, touched by the pale light of stars that are soon to fade. Their voices, soft as whispers, begin to stir. They sing not for themselves, but for the world. They sing to welcome the sun. They sing to wake the earth from its slumber. Imagine a temple standing high upon a hill. Its stones glow faintly, kissed by the last breath of moonlight. Around it, the sky is painted in shades of silver and pale blue. The priestesses gather, moving in silence, carrying bowls of water, herbs, and flowers. They walk slowly, their movements calm and steady, as though the earth itself moves with them. They place the bowls upon the altar. Clear water reflects the sky, mirroring the stars as they fade. The herbs release their fragrance, soft and grounding. The flowers, fresh and bright, seem to lean toward the east, awaiting the light that will soon arrive. The priestesses bow their heads, and in that stillness the world seems to pause with them. Every leaf, every bird, every grain of sand waits. The dawn is near. The priestesses are keepers of the threshold. They are guardians of the hour when darkness yields to light. Their duty is not one of power, but of care. They keep alive the rhythm of the world, the heartbeat that joins night and day. In Egypt, they were called handmaidens of the sun, waiting each morning for Ra to rise upon his golden boat. In Greece, they sang for Eos, the rosy-fingered dawn, whose light painted the sky with tender hues. In ancient Vedic songs, they called to Ushas, the goddess of morning, who brought freshness, renewal, and the joy of beginnings. Though the names changed across the lands, the act was the same. The priestesses of dawn welcome light into the world with reverence and song. Their voices rise together now, soft, steady, woven like threads in a tapestry. The sound drifts across the hill, carried by the breeze. It mingles with the call of early birds, with the hum of the earth awakening. It is not loud, not forceful. It is gentle, golden, full of promise. Their chant is a reminder. Every day is a birth. Every dawn is a gift. Every sunrise is a chance for the world to begin again. The priestesses do not rush the sun. They do not command it. They simply open the way, like a door being unlatched. They bow, they sing, and the light arrives. Now the first ray appears. It stretches across the horizon, soft as a brushstroke upon the sky. It touches the bowls of water, and they glow. It touches the flowers, and they unfold. It touches the faces of the priestesses, and they shine as though lit from within. The world begins to stir. Birds rise from the trees, wings glinting in the early light. The earth exhales, releasing the coolness of night, welcoming the warmth of day. The priestesses lift their arms, palms open as if to receive this blessing. And the sun climbs higher, slow and certain, a golden circle of renewal. The dawn ritual is not only for the sky, it is also for the heart. The priestesses remind all who listen that light returns, no matter how long the night, that hope returns, no matter how deep the sorrow, that beginnings return, no matter how heavy the endings. Each song they sing carries a promise that life renews itself endlessly. That darkness never holds forever. That light will always find its way back. You drift deeper into this vision. The temple fades, and you are standing at the edge of a wide river. The sky is mirrored in its waters, pale and glowing. Across the river, the priestesses sing, their voices moving like ripples upon the current. Their chants cross the water, reaching you, soothing you. You feel the promise in their song as if it were spoken directly to your heart. The river itself seems to glow. It becomes a path of light, stretching from the priestesses to you. It is not a river of water alone. It is a river of renewal, carrying away the night, carrying toward the morning. And you are gently carried upon it, floating softly, safe and at peace. The priestesses of dawn are not bound to the past. They are still here, though their temples may have fallen. They live wherever a voice greets the morning with gratitude. They live in every mother who opens the window to let sunlight in. They live in every bird that sings as the sky brightens. They live in every breath that rises at the start of day. The priestesses of dawn are eternal because dawn itself is eternal. The world may change, empires may fade, lives may come and go, but the sun will always rise, and with it, the song of the priestesses will always return. Now the sun climbs higher, flooding the world with light. The stars are gone, the moon is gone. The sky is clear, endless, filled with the warmth of day. The priestesses lower their hands. Their song grows quiet, fading into silence. They bow once more, their duty fulfilled, and the world continues on, bathed in the gift of light. As the vision softens, you remain held in its calmness. The warmth of the sun lingers in your chest, though your body rests in night. The song of the priestesses echoes in your mind, a lullaby of light. You feel safe, carried by the rhythm of day and night, night and day. The world is steady, and you are steady within it. Let your breath follow this rhythm. Let each inhale be like dawn arriving. Let each exhale be like night falling. You are in harmony with the turning of the world. You are in harmony with the songs of the priestesses. Now rest. Let the temple fade. Let the river of light grow still. Let the voices of the priestesses drift into silence. They have opened the day, and you may now drift onward into rest. The dawn has been sung into being. The sun has risen. The world is safe. You are safe. Now close your eyes gently as the stars return in their own time. Rest as the priestesses of dawn watch over you. The night deepens. The sky is wide, sprinkled with stars that shimmer like scattered pearls. The moon drifts quietly, her silver glow spreading across the land. Shadows soften, and silence folds itself gently over the hills, the rivers, and the ancient stones of forgotten temples. The world feels hushed, as if waiting for a voice that does not shout, but whispers. In this stillness, the oracle waits. Hidden beneath the earth in the quiet heart of a cave, she listens to the voices that cannot be heard by most. She is not a ruler. She is not a warrior. She is a vessel, a bridge, a candle in the dark. The path to her dwelling is long and shadowed. One must walk slowly, step by step, past the roots of old trees, past streams that shimmer faintly in the moonlight. The air cools as the cave mouth appears, its opening like the breath of the earth itself. Inside, the walls are painted by the flicker of torches. Symbols lie carved into the stone, spirals, circles, lines that cross like stars in a night sky. They speak a language of silence, a language of memory. Those who came to her did not come to demand. They came to listen. The oracle did not force her voice. She waited until the quiet within her was deep enough to hold what must be spoken. Her words did not command. They guided, like a hand resting lightly on a shoulder, turning the gaze toward a gentler path. In Greece, she was called the Pythia, seated at Delphi, where the breath of the earth rose as a mist. In Egypt, she was a hidden priestess who listened to the gods in secret chambers beneath the temples. In far-off lands, women sat at the mouths of springs, or deep within forests, their ears tuned not to noise but to silence. The oracle was never loud. Her strength was in her softness, in her patience, in her stillness. Imagine now the cave of the oracle. The air is cool, carrying the scent of damp stone and the faint sweetness of herbs placed in bowls. A small pool of water rests at the center, perfectly still, like a mirror. The oracle kneels beside it, her eyes half closed. Her fingers brush the water's surface, and ripples spread slowly outward. She watches them fade until once more the pool is calm, silent, unbroken. Her voice comes quietly, almost like the echo of your own thought. It is not rushed. It is not heavy. It is like the steady drip of water from stone, each word falling into the heart with ease. She speaks of journeys not yet walked. She speaks of doors not yet opened. She speaks of paths hidden in shadow that lead gently toward the light. The oracle's gift is not in seeing the future as if it were already written. Her gift is in showing how many rivers lie ahead and how each one flows. Her words are like seeds. They are planted softly in the mind, and in time they grow into understanding. Those who listen deeply find that the truth was never outside them. It was always within. The oracle simply reminds them to hear it. You walk deeper into the cave. The stone beneath your feet is cool, smooth with age. The air grows still, and you can almost hear the faint pulse of the earth itself. The oracle's voice drifts like smoke through the chamber, weaving between shadow and flame. She does not speak in riddles meant to confuse. She speaks in images. A tree bending in the wind, yet never breaking. A river winding, slow and patient, yet always reaching the sea. A star fading, only to return in another season. Her images are gentle reminders that all things have rhythm. All things have flow, and within the flow there is peace. Long ago, kings and travelers came seeking answers, but the oracle's words were not treasures to be taken and stored away. They were gentle torches, lit to guide a step or two ahead. Those who demanded control often left with little. Those who listened with quiet hearts often found more than they imagined. The oracle's gift was not certainty. It was guidance. It was trust. It was the reminder that silence, too, holds wisdom. Now imagine yourself sitting before her. The cave is dim, the pool of water glowing faintly in the torchlight. You hear the sound of a distant drop of water, echoing, slow and steady. The oracle lifts her gaze toward you. Her eyes are calm, like night skies filled with stars. Her lips part, and her voice is softer than the whisper of leaves. She speaks not of fate written in stone, but of pathways shaped by choice. She reminds you that patience is a kind of strength, that listening is a form of seeing, that silence is not emptiness, but fullness waiting to be heard. Her words are not heavy. They settle in your heart like feathers falling gently upon still water. Outside, the night continues. The stars turn slowly above the earth. The world breathes, steady and calm. But within the cave, time seems to rest. Every sound is slowed, every shadow softened. The oracle remains, quiet as stone, yet alive as flame. Her presence is not meant to dazzle. It is meant to soothe. It is meant to remind that in the darkest places, there is always a small flame of guidance, always a whisper of truth. The hidden oracle is not one woman alone. She is a memory carried across lands and centuries. She is the voice of the sibyl at her cave, of the priestess at her temple, of the wise woman at her fire. She is every mother whose quiet words guide her child. She is every friend who listens before speaking. She is every moment of silence that reveals more than noise ever could. The oracle is not gone. She lingers in every quiet space. She lingers in the stillness of the night, in the pause between your breaths, in the gentle calm that now holds you. As her voice fades, the cave becomes softer, dimmer. The torches flicker, and the pool of water rests once more in stillness. The air is cool, wrapping around you like a cloak of safety. You feel your body sinking into calmness, your mind sinking into silence. The oracle remains, hidden yet eternal. Her whispers continue, though words are no longer needed. For the greatest truths are not always spoken. They are felt, like warmth in the chest, like calm in the breath, like light that glows unseen. Let yourself drift into that silence. Let yourself rest in the cave of stillness. No need for questions, no need for answers. Only calm, only quiet, only the presence of the oracle, watching gently, guiding softly. Now let the cave grow darker, let the torches fade, let the pool of water close its circle of light. And as you rest, remember, the oracle is never far. She is always near, hidden in the silence of your own heart. Let us drift onward as the stars return. Now rest, in the company of the hidden oracle, in the safety of silence. The night opens once more, like a slow tide unfolding across the shore of dreams. The stars are above you, scattered like shells upon the dark sand of the heavens. The air is quiet, the body grows heavy, and the mind drifts like a small boat released upon still waters. Let us wander together into the ancient seas where goddesses watched over the waves, where sailors looked not only to the stars for direction, but also to the soft, eternal voices of the ocean mothers. Long before maps were drawn, the sea was the world's great mystery. Its surface shimmered in sunlight, yet its depths held unknown shadows. For those who lived by the shore, the ocean was both friend and teacher. It fed them, carried them, and sometimes frightened them with storms. To ease their hearts, they told stories. They whispered of mothers beneath the waves, of women divine, whose arms stretched wide across the waters. Their lullabies were the tides themselves. Their voices rose in the hush of the surf, in the gentle crash of waves, in the sigh of seashells pressed to the ear. In Greece, sailors called upon Amphitrite, the queen of the sea. She was painted in soft blues and silvers, adorned with coral and pearls. Her name was breathed as prayers before voyages. She calmed the waters when hearts were pure, and sent dolphins to guide lost ships toward shore. Those who spoke of her said she had a gaze like moonlight upon waves. When the sea glittered white at night, they believed Amphitrite was smiling. Her laughter was the sparkle of foam at dawn. And when the sea grew restless, sailors whispered that she was simply stirring, rolling in her watery bed. Even storms felt gentler when imagined as the tossing dreams of a goddess. Far to the north, the Inuits spoke of Sedna, the mother of the ocean's creatures. She dwelled beneath the icy waters, her hair long and flowing like seaweed. From her fingers and arms, it was told, the seals and whales were born. She carried all who swam in her embrace. Sailors and hunters sang to her, asking for safe passage across frozen seas. They combed the tangles of her hair with prayers to soothe her and calm her spirit. For when Sedna felt sorrow, the waters grew hard and bitter, and storms rose from her grief. But when she was cared for, her blessings overflowed, and the ocean gave food and safe return. In this way, the Inuit remembered the sea not as enemy, but as mother. A mother who needed gentleness, and who in turn gave life. Farther east, in the warm currents near India, was Varuni, the goddess of ocean waters. She was called the nectar bringer, her essence flowing in rivers that met the sea. Fishermen and travelers called upon her, believing that she poured sweetness into the tides. Her touch made waters calm, like a mother stroking the hair of a sleeping child. Her songs were not heard with the ears, but felt in the chest, like the slow rhythm of waves upon a sandy shore. To sit beside the ocean was to rest in her lap. Every ebb and every flow was her breath. Every sparkle of light upon the water's surface was her blessing, soft and unspoken. In Japan, the people honored Benzaiten, goddess of flowing waters, rivers, and seas. Her temples rested upon islands, surrounded by waves and winds. She was guardian of music and poetry as well, and her voice was the sound of strings carried on sea breezes. Fishermen told that she listened to the hum of the ocean and then repeated it in her own melodies. The gulls circling above were said to follow her songs, and sailors, rocking in their wooden boats, felt that she sang to them too. Each note was a promise that no wave was ever empty. Every sound of the tide was a word of care. In the islands of the Pacific, stories of the ocean mothers stretched wide. Some spoke of Namaka, sister of fire, who ruled the waters of Hawaii. Her waves were vast, yet they carried healing. She was not a goddess of anger, but of balance. The fire of the earth and the water of the sea, held in eternal harmony. On other shores, people told of goddesses who wove nets from starlight, catching dreams as they floated across the waves. Children drifted to sleep, believing the ocean rocked them in invisible cradles. Mothers would hush them with lullabies, their voices blending with the steady rhythm of the surf. And in those lullabies, one could almost hear the goddesses singing too. Every coast had its own name for the Sea Mother, yet all names led back to the same truth. The ocean is not only deep water, it is also a gentle guardian, holding life close to its chest. It is vast, yet intimate. It is powerful, yet nurturing. To watch the tide is to see the pulse of something alive. To hear the waves is to hear the breath of something eternal. And to believe in ocean mothers is to rest, knowing the sea itself will carry you, never letting you sink too far. Imagine now a night by the shore. The air is cool. The moon is high, laying a silver path upon the black water. Each wave touches the sand softly like fingers smoothing a blanket. The horizon is endless but not empty. It feels full of unseen presence, full of quiet song. You walk slowly upon the sand. Your feet sink gently into its softness. The sound of the tide is steady, lulling, kind. In its rhythm, you feel the embrace of the ocean mothers. Every wave is like a heartbeat. Every breeze is like a whisper. You are safe here. The sea has no walls. It stretches farther than the eye can see. Yet within it, you are never alone. Every drop of water has been touched by their care. Every tide is a reminder that the mothers are near. Their lullabies are older than language. They do not command. They do not demand. They only soothe, soft syllables woven into foam, a music that belongs to the heart more than the ear. Close your eyes. You may hear them now. The sea is their voice. The sea is their song. And so the ancients believed that to travel across the ocean was not to leave safety behind. It was to travel in the lap of divine mothers. Waves were not walls. They were arms. Currents were not traps. They were guides. Storms were not fury. They were dreams of beings too vast to measure. Every sailor, every fisherman, every wanderer who gazed at the horizon carried these stories in their chest. Stories that softened fear. Stories that turned the unknown into a lullaby. Now as you rest in this story, feel the tide within your own breath. Inhale and the wave comes in. Exhale and the wave drifts out. The rhythm is eternal. It belongs to you as much as it belongs to the sea. The ocean mothers are still here. Their voices are not lost. They wait in the hush of seashells. They wait in the sigh of the breeze. They wait in the quiet between waves. If you listen gently, you may hear them cradle you. They sing not only to sailors, but to all who long for rest. They sing not only to travelers, but to all who dream. Now the tide is steady. Now the horizon is calm. Now the ocean mothers lean close, and their lullabies flow like silver light across the waves. Let the song carry you. Let the waters hold you. Let the night rock you like a cradle made of stars and tide. Drift now. The sea is soft. The mothers are near. The waves will keep singing long after you sleep. Rest as the tide flows on. Rest as the moon keeps watch. Rest as the ocean mothers whisper through the dark. The night is wide and quiet. A hush lingers like silk laid over the earth. Stars drift above, steady as candles lit in the dark sky. The air carries the softness of eternity, as if the universe itself is breathing slowly, inviting you into rest. Now, in this stillness, let us return once more to the stories of the divine feminine, not as one figure or one name or one place, but as something that flows through every age, every people, every gentle prayer. For though she wears many faces, though she speaks in many tongues, the truth is always the same. The divine woman never vanishes. She always returns, like the tide, like the dawn, like the breath that moves through you now. Long ago, in temples of stone, her image was carved into walls. She was mother. She was queen. She was priestess of the unseen. Incense curled like ribbons around her, rising into the rafters of shrines. Her presence was felt in the flicker of lamps, in the murmur of chants, in the quiet steps of those who entered seeking peace. Even before temples, before the building of cities, she was honored. Painted upon cave walls, shaped in clay, whispered in songs beside firelight. She was known in the roundness of the earth, in the curve of rivers, in the circle of the moon. People saw her everywhere, because she was everywhere. They felt her in the soil that grew their food, in the water that quenched thirst, in the arms that carried children. She was not far. She was near, always near. In Egypt, she was Isis, who gathered the pieces of her beloved and restored him to life. In her, the people learned that love is stronger than death. Her arms were wide enough to cradle grief, and still to offer hope. In Sumer, she was Inanna, who descended into the dark underworld and returned. Her story was a reminder that even after loss, after silence, after endings, there can be return, rebirth, renewal. The feminine is not only soft light, but also the strength to rise again. In India, she was Shakti, the energy that moved through all things. Her dance was the dance of creation itself. Without her, nothing stirred. With her, the cosmos pulsed with life. In Greece, she was Demeter, who mourned her daughter through winter's cold, and rejoiced in her return with the bloom of spring. Through her, people saw that the earth itself moves with the rhythm of a mother's heart. Seasons are but her breathing. Every seed that sleeps in the soil will wake again, and in every place, in every story, she always came back. She always returned. The divine feminine is like water. She may vanish from sight, sinking into the earth, but she rises again as rivers, as mist, as rain. She may disappear into shadow, but she emerges as dawn. She may be silent for a season, but she returns as song, for her truth cannot be lost. It moves in cycles like the moon. It flows like the tides. It lingers like memory. Imagine now a great circle of women across ages and lands. Some wear crowns of gold, others simple veils, others wreaths of leaves. Some hold infants, some hold flames, some carry bowls of water. They do not speak over one another. They simply stand side by side, each a mirror of the same light. Their voices join, not in words, but in a hum, low and soft. It is the hum of bees, the hum of earth, the hum of waves returning to shore. The sound is eternal. It carries no beginning and no end. It is the voice of the divine feminine, gathered and returned. For she is not only goddess in temples, she is the mother who rocks her child. She is the elder who tells stories by the hearth. She is the healer who binds wounds. She is the friend who listens with quiet care. She is also the earth beneath your feet, the fruit that ripens in the sun, the rain that cools the air, the night that holds your sleep. Whenever there is nurture, she is there. Whenever there is compassion, she is there. Whenever there is renewal, she is there. Close your eyes and imagine her in the stars. She is there, weaving constellations like jewels upon dark silk. Imagine her in the rivers. She is there, flowing, endless, never still yet never gone. Imagine her in your own breath. She is there, moving in and out, returning again and again. The divine feminine does not belong only to the past. She is here now. She is here in this very moment, in this quiet night. Her return is not a single event. Her return is every breath, every heartbeat, every tender act of care. Once the people feared she had been forgotten. Temples fell, stories faded, names were lost to dust. But even then she returned, not as statues, not as grand rituals, but as whispers in the soul. For the divine feminine does not need walls to dwell in. She dwells in the human heart, and the heart cannot forget her, for she is part of it. Think of the moon. There are nights when it vanishes, hidden in shadow, yet it always returns. It cannot vanish forever. Its cycle is certain. So it is with the divine feminine. She is the moon in the sky of the spirit. She is the tide that never stops moving. She is the seed that always finds the light. And so, across the world, whenever someone sings a lullaby, whenever someone tends a garden, whenever someone listens with kindness, the divine feminine returns. She is present in the gentlest of actions. She does not need thunder to announce her. She arrives in silence, in patience, in care. Her eternity is not in towering monuments, but in the simple rhythm of life continuing. In the quiet way the world renews itself, over and over again. Picture yourself now, resting beneath the sky. The earth holds you as a mother holds her child. The stars above are her eyes, calm and endless. The wind that brushes your face is her hand. The night itself is her cloak, wrapping you in safety. You are not apart from her. You are within her. You carry her as the ocean carries the moon's reflection. You carry her as the soil carries seeds. You carry her as breath carries life. The ancients told many names, many stories, but they were all doorways to the same truth. The divine feminine is eternal. She cannot be lost. She is always returning. And tonight, as you drift towards sleep, she returns to you as well. In the rhythm of your breath, in the warmth of your body resting, in the soft unfolding of your mind into dreams, rest now. The cycle continues. The mothers of the world are still singing. Their voices are in the sea, in the wind, in the quiet of your own heart. They are near and they are eternal. Let their song carry you. Let their presence soothe you. Let their eternal return be your peace. Now close your eyes gently as the stars return to their watch. Let yourself drift onward as the divine feminine gathers you into her care, for she is always here, always near, always returning. Sleep now in her endless embrace.